Stamping friends, Melissa Kerman here, and it's Facebook Live time for my weekly Facebook Live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have announcements, I have projects, I have cool tips for you today. I'll say that again, announcements, projects, cool tips, and sneak peeks from the holiday catalog, which is going live really, really soon, so super excited to share. So if you're joining in again, I've got announcements, I've got projects, and I've got tips for you. So fun projects today. So before I launch into announcements, hi Kathy, hi Laura-Lee. I just need to get a little philosophical. I just want to share a little bit of some of the things I've been thinking about lately. Sometimes I think about talking about this sort of stuff and I refrain, but I'm going to today, and I hope that you are all cool with it, getting a little philosophical. So and I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you the thing that I loved about stamping from the very start, the thing that kept me going, the reason why I loved it and why I continue to do it, and it sort of expanded and grew over time. Hi Pam, hi Fran, welcome. So I'm getting philosophical here, so I can't help myself. So the thing that I fell in love with about stamping, I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But I want to step back just a bit, because I've been talking a lot about transitions lately. At this time of year, my daughter going off to college, and and there's other things going on too. Let's see. Crafting is more than just the craft. It's okay. I'm jumping. I'm jumping around. I knew what I wanted to say, and I'm jumping around. It's everybody that I know who does the craft says it's therapeutic, and so I often think, like, why is it therapeutic? What is it about it? So it ties into this idea of transitions because, okay, well, first of all, who loves change? Does anybody love change? Comment and let me know. I love change. I don't love change. I don't think anybody loves change. I think people dread change. And so I've been thinking a lot about it, as I mentioned, a lot lately. And I think the reason why we don't like change is because it forces us to think about the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. I mean, that's true for me. And it makes me feel pressured, and I think about the future and what that change is going to be, and it makes me fearful. I get fearful. So we could talk all day about, shedding fear and living life to the fullest and all that stuff, but that's not what I'm going to do. What am I trying to say? So the thing about crafting that to me is amazing, and I don't know if this is true for you guys too. Okay, if it's a good change, you don't mind. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. But sometimes change causes anxiety, right? It creates anxiety for me. So anyway, thinking about the future causes anxiety. We got to let go of that and shed that. But crafting allows me to be in the moment, right? We all need to be in the moment. And when I'm crafting, I don't think about really anything else. Or if I do, I'm just really not aware of it. So does anybody else feel that way? Like when you're crafting, you just absorb into the thing, and it's just all that there is in front of you, and that's good, right? So I think it's therapeutic. And of course, crafting has many other benefits in that we have community, which is an amazing thing. We get to share who we are through our craft, and that's also amazing. But from the very beginning, the thing that made me love crafting so much was that I could see the beginning, middle, and end to the thing that I was doing. So I started crafting when my kids were little, and whether it's your kids or whether it's the other obligations you have in life, things are always in process, right? You never get to, a lot of times you just don't get to finish the thing. And so when my kids were little, I just remember I could sit down, I could start a project, I could create, I could see the beginning, middle, and end. And at the end, I had something. If I didn't love it, that's cool too. If I loved it, that's great. But it was done. And I could share it and show it and give it and send it and spread love. And that was just the most amazing thing. And it continues to do that for me now. So I know this is kind of this philosophical thing about transitions, and I think I've been feeling this way since the beginning of August that I'm in a transition, and I think it's things are going to kind of get more into routine soon. but it's just made me really think, and I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts and my insight and see what you guys all thought. You know, do transitions give you anxiety? What does crafting do for you to help you, ground you, and make you feel whole, and help you just be in the moment? So share your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Write full sentences so I know exactly what you're referring to. So that's like my little philosophical piece that I just was dying to share. So I hope you guys don't mind me sharing that little tidbit, and share what you fell in love with about crafting, if any of it resonates with you, if it's similar to what I shared or anything else. So now I'm going to just launch right in with some quick little announcements. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Parker. I know I'm missing people, so hi those of you who I've missed. I will say hi later in the comments. So I feel like a broken record on this. So bonus days ends in 2 days, right? That's where you get the $5 coupon and you get to apply it to an order in August. The starter kit special also ends in 2 days, $66 of free product with your starter kit when you buy it before the end of August. I love being a demonstrator, so you want to talk to me and ask me questions, you just let me know. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. Let's see what else. Okay, so my product shares are coming to an end as of September 5th. Got about a week left to reserve your product shares. My unique Taste of a Sweet product shares, my little paper crafters buffet, as I like to call it. And one of all the projects that I'm sharing today feature one of those product suites, and that is the Wrapped in Plaid suite. So super excited to share those. It's actually the first things that I've created with that suite, so very, very fun. And then I have one other little thing. I'm doing a referral bonus for anybody who refers people to my product shares, and if your friend that you refer actually purchases a minimum of 4 shares, then you could get a free technique class. And if you refer more than one person, you'll get more. I mean, it's either the electronic components of the technique class or electronic components plus the materials kit, which is a lot of work to put together. So precisely cut and beautifully packaged. So those are just my little announcements. So let me know if you have questions about that. So moving right along. So let me show you a little bit of the Wrapped in Plaid suite that I'm going to be working with today. And let's see, I may try to actually turn the camera around so you're going to see it right, because yeah, it's backwards. So this is the stamp set. Let's see if I can do this. Is that one? Okay. There we go. Woohoo! It's right side. She took the risk. She did it. So that's the stamp set, and you can get it with as a bundle with this lovely tree punch. So this is the featured product for today. These are the non-consumable products that I'm using. And I'm also, this is not part of the suite, but I'm also featuring this punch that's going to be a part of the project. And this, I'll show you the product share, because that actually has all the consumables in it, and I'm going to be using 3 out of the 4 of these. So the only one I'm not using is the little, what are those called? Jingle bells. But I'm using the ribbon, I'm using the designer paper, I'm all backwards so I don't know what I'm pointing at, and the gold pizza boxes. So I'm going to be using all of those things today in my project. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down, and I think I'm ready. I don't think there's, and then the other thing, of course, this lovely ribbon. Just love this ribbon, having so much fun with it. Okay, so turn the camera down. I think I have to flip backwards again. Okay, so it looks right when I turn it down, and here we go. Let's see. Okay. Precisely cut and packaged. You like that, huh? Well, it's true. I take great pride in my precision, in my cutting. Thank you, Fran. You like my hair. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's my space. It's kind of messy. So Wrapped in Plaid, the punch. I'm going to have those off to the side. And I've got my pieces and parts here. So I've got a card. I've got a 3D item that I'm doing. And then I've got some tips at the very end that I think you're going to really love. It's something that I haven't done in a while, and the tip, that is, and I was super excited and to sort of rediscover it again. Here's these little jingle bells. If you can think of a way to use these in the project I'm showing you today, just let me know, because I was trying to find something and I couldn't figure anything out that worked. Okay, so here's what we're going to start with. This is actually our focal piece. I've punched some of these trees out just using regular paper, and I'm going to use my temporary adhesive. This is just it's kind of like snail, but it's removable. And I'm going to just put some temporary adhesive on the back of these. So this is actually one of the tricks, which I wasn't even counting. So maybe there's actually 3 tricks, and I'm going to show you today that I love. Okay, so we're just kind of creating our little tree forest. And I like to put them at 3 different heights just to kind of vary things a little. Now you're like, why is she doing this? It's just paper. Little paper trees on there. So here's why I'm doing it. I'm going to move that one up a little bit. These are going to be my guide to tell me where to punch my trees, because if I did it freehand, something tells me they wouldn't end up where I wanted them. Oh yes, the hat paper. That's actually one of my favorites. The hat paper. Is there hat paper in there? I can't even remember. Well, anyway, the stockings. I love those little stockings. It's so cute. And most of the paper is plaid. Lots of different patterns of plaid. So this is the papers I've been playing with, so it shows you some of them. And you'll see some when I'm actually doing my project too. So here I've got my temporary adhesive attaching my little trees, and I'm just going to guide that in and punch right around where the trees are. And that way I know that I have them exactly where I want them. Okay, now that tree is going to need to be a little bit lower because the punch won't go all the way in. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I may have just pushed that one all the way in when I did it the first time. Okay. Ah, yes. Okay, to use the bells, I make a box. Okay, yes. Yeah, well, I'm actually doing one of those pizza boxes, and that was actually my thought, is I would find a place for it on the pizza box. And then because of my design, it didn't quite seem right to me. But once I show you the pizza box that I'm doing, maybe you'll have a brilliant idea. I have no doubt that you guys will have brilliant ideas of things that I can do with it. Okay, so I'm going to be using these trees for something, right? Because I'm punching out a lot of these trees as I play with these designs. Okay, so there's step 1. So step 2 is that I'm going to do some stamping on there. So I'm using the sort of natural tree background image in this stamp, this one right here, which is intended, I think, to use with that trunk, but I'm not using the trunk here because I'm really just creating kind of a texture in the background. So I'm using my shaded spruce. I love this green. It's such a pretty, happy green. And I'm going to stamp sort of like a background forest with some that are full ink and some that are second ink, and I think I'll do some third too. So now this is actually a very juicy ink pad. I re-inked it, and it made a really big difference in how dark the ink was. So we'll see if it softens as I do this more. Okay. I'm actually going to bring this in, do my stamping off on that. Okay, so let's do this. Now I'm not wanting to do my second stamped images with this when they're off the side of the page, because you guys know it'll make a line, right? And that's just no fun. So when I do my stamped off images, I'm just using fresh ink. Okay, so you see my forest growing? I love a natural forest, so this is just fun to with some stamped off images. Okay, so there we go. And that ink should soften in the depth of color as it sits there and dries. Don't know if you guys, that happens to you, but it does to me. Okay, next. Now my next thing, I have actually dry embossed this already with the subtle embossing folder. You guys probably know it's one of my all-time favorites. I use it a lot because I love subtle texture in my cards. And next I'm going to take some of the Patterns of Designer paper. As you can see, I have one, already punched some out of that. And I'm going to punch one of each from the paper, going in the opposite direction so that I maximize my paper. Always looking to use my resources wisely. I think my favorite of these papers are the ones that have the multiple, multiple colors in them. There's one, I'm going to show it to you in a bit. None of these actually have it, but that have all three, the navy and I think it's cherry cobbler and the shaded spruce. All right, so now this tree in one direction or another is not symmetrical. It's not symmetrical from side to side, so I can't turn it over and it's not going to fit in, so I have to make sure that I did this right. Is it going to fit in? Yes. Oh, good. I did it the right way. It's going to fit in. Okay, so got them lined up. I know which one trees I want. And now I'm going to cover the back side with like a ton of dimensionals because I want this to stand up. So this is not, like a clean and simple type card. It's takes a little bit of time. You're going to see as I do all my dimensionals. And I'm going to use some itty bitty dimensionals too, just to make sure that I have, so that it doesn't get squished down. Did I see, let's see, Allison Barber. I remember Allison, if you're there, she's sometimes on here, fellow demonstrator. She taught a class once that I went to, and she was like, put lots of dimensionals on there. You don't want it to get smushed down. And she's so right. And Kathy Lovell, who's a good friend of Allison. I know you're out there. I saw your name. Maybe you're still there. Okay, so lots of dimensionals. So thank you, Allison, for the inspiration to use lots of dimensionals. Okay, so here's what I did. I actually took off, when I made the original card, I took off some of the middle dimensionals so that it would stick down, but it wouldn't be permanent yet, because I wanted to make sure that I could do this next step and have it work properly. So I've got the dimensionals only attached in the middle, and then I'm going to take my little trees. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm doing this because I really want them to be tacked down really well. So do you guys know where I'm going with this? Do you know? Do you know what I'm going to do? Of course you do. You guys are all smart crafters. You can read my mind too. Somebody guess. What am I going to do? Let's see, what color was the ink for the trees? That is shaded spruce. So it's shaded spruce on shaded spruce is what I'm using. So now I'm going to stick this in the opening, starting at the top. Now I used my liquid glue because I wanted to be able to move it around after I tuck it in here. And I'm going to use my bone folder to press it down. And I'm also going to use, where is it? Oh, I could use this. My paper piercing tool, or this is actually, the take your pick tool, just to press it down. I'm using the side of it so I don't poke any holes in there. and I just want it to sit in there recessed. Now, the easy way, if I could have done it this way, would have been to cut a rectangle, right? But if I'd cut a rectangle, it would have gotten in the way of that. It would have shown next to one of the other trees. So I just decided that I would do it this way. I probably could have done a rectangle, some rectangles, a combination, but too late for that because I've already done this. Okay, so just sticking my trees into my openings. And I don't want it to ooze out either, although the oozing will happen in behind. If it oozes, then it might tack down the part that's supposed to be raised up. So we don't want that either. Okay, so sticking it in, starting at the top. Should have had one half done, right? And then just a little bit at a time, easing it into place. Like I said, not a clean and simple, but pretty fun anyway. Okay, so there we go. Number 2. The rest of this is super simple, so we'll make up for it. Okay, and then the last one. The last tree. Okay, here we go. Stick it in there. And then I'm going to just need to pull the backings to those dimensionals off to get that in place. So many uses for the bone folder, right? So you kind of get the idea, right? Kind of cool, huh? Okay, so there's what my focal piece is basically going to look like. Now I've got a couple of other elements to this. I've used one of these larger stars and one of the two of the smaller ones, and those are going to get put. I can use my, let's see, my Take Your Pick tool, which is right here, but I'm going to use the other end. Now I've already punched some of these guys out. I've got one of the bigger ones here. Now, you may have seen in my workspace, I've got this scrap of the gold glimmer paper, and this is the perfect use for this. Is the perfect use for these tiny little stars. You can get a ton of them out of it, and then you don't waste. So, I'm just going to start with a little bit of glue on here, and I'm not going to do all of these, but just this Take Your Pick tool is a great tool for doing exactly that. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to actually just show you the finished project, because from there it's pretty straightforward. So that's my finished card. I just attached some of that ribbon, and I haven't put an inside in yet, but I just did wrap the ribbon all around the inside. And this ribbon is so shiny and glittery. I tried using gold foil for the stars, but it just didn't look right. It really needed that extra pop to connect with that ribbon. So there is my card. Pretty, aside from getting those little trees in there, pretty straightforward. So I will be finishing the other one off camera. Okay, so on to the next project, which is related. It's coordinates with this first project and is actually pretty quick. So we're going to start with one of the pizza boxes, these new gold pizza boxes, which of course I'm going to blind you with playing with this. So the first thing, if you've ever used one of these, that you have to do is to burnish all the edges, and it will fold much more nicely if you fold all the edges really well. Oh, I'm so glad you love the card. Thank you, Parker. Oh, I see hearts. I see hearts. I need to be watching for hearts. You guys know how much they make me happy. Okay, so normally, right, you would just go ahead and burnish this, but when I received these in the mail, the gold portion was facing down, which sort of suggests to me that it might be a little bit you know, you could damage it, you could poke it or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a piece of paper and go over that edge. Now this is an inside fold, so maybe you don't care, but I tried doing one of the inside folds without the paper, and it actually kind of scratched it a little bit. Did I do one of these? So it's if you want to preserve all the gold elements on this and not risk scratching the surface, just use a little piece of paper, and your box will fold up a whole lot better if those edges are all burnished really well. So if you haven't put one of these together before, they are a piece of cake. This is the most work there is in the whole thing, is doing this burnishing of the edges. I have done some ahead of time. Speed things up a little. Okay, so now some people would use adhesive on these. I don't even bother using adhesive. You don't really need it. So there's these little holes right there, and on this side there's a little nub that sticks right into the hole. So that's part of the mechanism for holding this together. And then you can see on this end, they just stick into the holes. And there you go. It's pretty much as simple as that. And then you got your sides all folded up, and it just comes together so easy. So the burnishing is really the only work there is in putting this little box together. So there is my starting place. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am looking for something on my table. Ah, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to cover this with a piece of the Night of Navy. I've put glue dots on the edges, the ends of my ribbon. And what is this ribbon called? I always forget the names of the ribbons. They always have interesting names. Let's see, it's striped. Well, striped ribbon. That makes sense. Striped ribbon, shaded spruce and gold. And I'm just going to wrap that around. Attach it to the top. And then I've done something similar with the focal piece. So again, I have a piece of the shaded spruce that's been dry embossed with the subtle embossing folder, and a piece like this, which I'm going to go ahead and punch out. Now, here's one of the tricks that I wanted to share, and this might be something you guys already know, but I just love this trick, just one of them. Okay, so I go like this, right? How am I going to make sure that that baby is centered? That just, you know, and that where if I'm going to punch it in the right place. So here's the trick. Where is my? Here we go. So I'm going to take another one of my little paper trees, put some temporary adhesive on it, and if I knew were the ones that actually, here's one that I did already. That one's got adhesive on the back side. Okay, I'm just going to put that on here. And you're like, well, you're still not going to be able to position it in there, right? So where's the trick? I put a little bit of adhesive on the end of this scrap piece of paper, and I'm just going to attach it to the corner, and I'm going to extend the length of that piece of paper. It's like I give myself a handle. Is that a cool trick or what? It's so, you know, kind of obvious in a certain way, but then, you know, it might not be. So then I'm going to go ahead and punch my tree out of there. And then I can pull that off. Now if I have this handle right here where it's also going to punch, it ends up being really thick. So you do want your handle off to the side, ideally where you're not going to also punch this layer as well. So there's tip number one. And here's another one. Okay, so if I were doing this one, because I have no trees on either side, what I would do is just take a piece of designer paper that's actually a square. Oops, hit the camera with my hand. Okay, and then just place it right in behind, right? So I could just attach it to here and then attach it, right? And that's what I did on my finished project, which is very similar to the one to the card, right? So this coordinates with the card. So there's my finished one. There are my two finished projects. But wait, there's more. Don't go away yet. So there's my 2 finished projects. So I did another version, and this brings me to my next trick. So on this piece of paper, I just stamped one of the other images from the set. And it's important for this next little trick that you use a bold image. And then I'm going to find the other thing that I need to. And then I'm going to use some packing tape. And let's see, got to trim it off so it's a straight edge. Does anybody know where I'm going with this? Like, what is she using packing tape for? Okay, don't tell the secret. If you know, you can say afterwards, I knew what she was going to do. Okay, I want to go this way. And it should be exactly the right length. And it might be a little bit too long. I'm going to have to trim it off. Get my scissors. Hold on. It can't be too big. It has to be just the right size. Okay, coming along. It's been a long time since I did this trick, but I'm excited to do it. Okay, so now I'm gonna stick it on the back side. Now if I put it down on the table and I go like that, guess what's gonna happen? We don't want to do that because it's gonna stick to the table. So I'm gonna bring in one of my little plasticized pieces that I like to use, and I've turned my paper over so that it's still gonna, on the front side, gonna be the right shape for my tree. And voila, it doesn't stick to the table. Yay me. Wouldn't that have been fun if I did that on camera and had it stick to the table? That'd ruin my trick. Okay, so here comes the final trick. I'm going to use my Dazzling Diamonds glitter. So now you guys know what I'm doing, right? And I'm going to stick it in there. And the glitter is just going to stick to the packing tape. And guess what? Where's my tree? Here we go. You ready for you ready? Drum roll, please. Now I'm going to put it over the top, and I'm going to have a snowy tree. Can you guys see? It's a glittery snowy tree. Has anybody done that before? Now I did this, I don't know if you can really see the glitter on the camera, but when it's away from the white paper, you can't see it too well. You can see a little bit. But then when it's over, and in person, it always looks better in person, of course. So now it does have to be flush up against the white paper. If it's raised up, you know, unless it's a really bold image, you're not going to be able to see quite as well. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this so that it's directly onto the paper instead of being raised up like these other designs that I've done. So we're going to do this quick and just finish up this box using this different design just because it's fun. Let's see. The glue dots don't want to stick to the packing tape. So let's do this. Got to be able to get it on the edge. And then I'm just going to center it over the tree and attach it. Okay, so I haven't been looking at comments. You guys love it? Oh, I see. Sharon loves it. Yay, Sharon. Hi, Sharon. And I see, Chrissy, you used an icon, but I don't know what that is. I can't really see. Tell me what it is, Chrissy, because now I'm super curious. Is it drums? Oh, drums. Oh, of course, for drum roll. Thank you so much. Okay, so very good. Okay, so here's this. And now I've got my different layers. Now I'm going to put this flush up against, so let's just add some adhesive to the back side. I'm going to use my Monster ATG gun. Somebody just asked me, I don't know who it was, what the adhesive was, and I think that I use, and this may have been what you were thinking about. This is a super strong adhesive. Maybe it was an email. I don't know, but that's my ATG gun. I love my ATG gun. You can get them from framing supply stores. Okay, and you know what? I forgot one step. Dang it. I was going to stamp the trees on that too, just like I did on this focal piece. Well, I guess it's just too late unless I use my undo, but I'm not going to do that on camera. So let's just finish this as is. I'm going to attach my blue, my navy background with the ribbon to the front of my box. Now I love boxes that have ribbons tied around them, but then you can't open them easily, or you have to untie them and untie the beautiful bow, and then you have to retie it if you want to. So I like to have a box design where it just opens really easily. So I'm just going to go with this design, even though it's a little bit naked without the trees. I think it's still pretty. Naked trees. We got a naked tree. Okay, here we go. And then, of course, my tree needs a star at the top. So I'm going to do that one last step using my punch. And just going to stick that in there. The trick with getting these little stars out is just making sure that it doesn't fly so far away you can't see where it went. Okay, where'd my glue go? I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of multi-purpose liquid glue on there. Oh, and it really needs to be a little bit, otherwise it's going to make a mess. And then just place it on there. Oop. Okay. I think that glue will dry clear because I put a little bit much on there. I can use this and clean it up a little. Okay, anyway, there you go. You get the idea. So here are my projects, my finished projects. So now I want to know who's going to go and try that glitter trick with the packing tape. Right now, comment. And let me know. Oh no, you missed the packing tape trick. You'll have to go back and watch. So there's my two pizza boxes. Are they not just cute? Candy can go inside, or what else? Gum, or hand sanitizer, or chapstick. Great little stocking stuffers. I hope you like those projects. Okay, you're going to try it, Emery. Yay, and Lynn. Wonderful. I love it when you try what I show. It's so much fun. And it would even be better is if you shared it on this Facebook page, because then everybody else would get to enjoy it too. What do you guys think? You going to do it? Share it, share it. Okay, so this is my other. I'm going to turn the camera now back to face me. Let's see. And got to do my little tightener over here. Get to be the awkward little position. Okay, so you like my projects? Yay, cute things. I just am loving this wrapped in plaid suite. It's so cute. So you guys, know the drill, right? I got product shares until the 5th, bonus days going away. I actually had somebody join just yesterday, so yay. Her name is Deb. Welcome, Deb, if you're on here. Sometimes she joins in here. It's great to be a demonstrator. I love it. Okay, hearts. Yay, somebody did hearts. Thank you so much. What else can I tell you? Oh, yeah, and refer people for my product shares. I would so appreciate it. And if you feel so inclined, share this video randomly at various times so that Facebook doesn't think it's, you're actually sharing. It's like playing with the Facebook algorithm. So anyway, I will be back. Oh, actually, you know what? I won't be, so you need to hear this. Next week, I'm going to be in Santa Fe. I'm hanging out with my oldest brother, and my sister and her husband. We have the 4 of us. My mom was supposed to come, but she decided not to, feeling a little bit too frail. And so it's just going to be the 4 of us. So we're going to be hiking in the mountains, and I am not going to be in a position to show you guys a project. So I'm so sorry to have to do that so soon after the last time I skipped. But I will be back on, I guess, what is September 12th, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me know what you think of the projects and other things you might want to see. And I'll be sharing, new stuff from the holiday catalog, which goes live next. Let's see, it's the 4th, which would be next Wednesday. Do I have that right? I should know this off the top of my head. I should know this. Yes, I think it's the 4th. So new catalog goes live next Wednesday. So enjoy. I will have blog posts in the interim, some videos that I'll publish ahead of time, that I'll schedule ahead of time. So stay tuned if you want to see some new crafting projects. They'll still be coming, even though I'm going to be on vacation. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Go craft and have fun and play.